Hey, it's me again, Kenishia Green, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. And I would definitely recommend that you guys check out his channel. He has such great content, and I think you can learn a thing or two from his platform, guys. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. That's right, episode 645 on the one and only Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with Kenishia Green. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show. It's a real honor and privilege.
Thank you for having me, Keith. I am really honored to be here. I know it's been a while. It's been a minute that him and I have been trying to get this going, but I'm so happy that we're finally here right now talking.
No, absolutely. You're supporting a good, supporting a good message, good cause, and hey, you're making a new friend out of it. So it's a win-win.
Yes, yes.
Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability,
Hmm.
I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example to show you that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. So with that being said, half hour, 30 minutes every time. Say anything, talk about anything you want. It's PG-13. But with that being said, I'm going to give you some free reign. You can say whatever you like. But with that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
Sure. All right. So about me. So my name is Kenisha, as Keith mentioned. I am an actress, a TV host, a writer, a creator, soon to be director, hopefully. And I reside here in New York City. But I was born and raised, well, half of my life, I was born in Jamaica, the island, not Queens. I have to specify. Sometimes people don't get it. But I was born in Jamaica, and then I came to America when I was 10. And a couple of years later, I decided I wanted to get into the arts. I decided I wanted to get into acting, and that's what I did. So I did not know specifically what I wanted to do yet, but I was messing around, kind of just, experimenting, doing shows and plays in high school and younger than that. And I just said, hey, let me just try it. Let me just try it. I went to college. I went to the Sales University. I majored in performing arts and as well as minored in business because we all need to know the business of everything that we are doing. So it was a very interesting experience. And since then, I've been just on this journey.
No, absolutely. Now, the first question I want to ask you is who motivated you to become an actress, and how many years have you been an actress?
Okay, so who motivated me? It's weird. It's a weird answer. People would probably think like, oh, my mom or something. No, I used to watch soap operas with my mother when I was 14, 15, and I loved it. I loved the way how they acted. They were so overly dramatic for no dang reason, and I just loved it. And I loved the expressions they made, and I found myself imitating them and pretending and talking and acting when I wasn't watching. And then that's kind of what sparked everything inside of me was watching soap operas with my mother. And that's when it all started.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned you were also a talk show host. You know,
Yeah.
same exact question. Who inspired you, and what actually made you want to become a talk show host?
So me becoming a talk show host kind of happened by accident. I was just submitting to acting gigs on my platform, the acting platforms, and I was approached by a gentleman who runs a TV show here in New York City called Video City TV. This was in 2014, either 14 or 15, and he asked me to come. I did my first show with him, and he loved it. He's like, all right, come back next week and the week after and the week after. And I kind of just found my little niche in that field of talk show host. And I've been doing that with him for roughly close to 4 years. So that's how that started.
Hey, you want to hook me up? I appreciate that. Maybe something that would happen, right?
Yeah, listen, if you ever wanted to be, because it's mainly like geared towards musicians,
All
but he
right.
started opening the doors to like actors and directors and writers. So yeah, he actually is very open now to any type of creative field.
No, hey, never say never. I've
Hmm.
been doing this for 6.5 years, and this is what I want to do
Wow,
until the
that's
day I.
amazing. That's amazing. Much success to you. You're doing an awesome job.
No, I appreciate it. This is what I want to do until the day I die. I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna always support you.
No, I appreciate it. Now, the next question I want to ask you is how long have you had your show, and who were some of your favorite guests that you ever had on your show?
All right, so it's not my show. It's still his show. I was just like the main host of
All
his
right.
show. Let's see, who was some? What, I've had so many people on that show, from amateur artists to upcoming artists. Let's see, it's so many of them that I can't recall. Who was my favorite? I always loved, because a lot of people from different parts of the world, believe it or not, someone from South Africa came. So I think probably he was one of my favorites. People who were outside of the United States were always my favorite. This is really dope artist. I will not say his name because I'm gonna butcher his name and I don't remember his full name. But he came from South Africa just to be on the show, and I thought that was really great. I love that type of tradition, that type of different background that was there. And then I had another artist that was from Canada, um, from France. Like those are the type of artists I love. I love interviewing. And going back on this show, we've had people like Nicki Minaj on the show before she blew up. Blew up. We've had Nick Cannon, and believe it or not, I don't know how they did it, but they got Donald Trump. They ran into Donald Trump, and they were able to talk with him. This was before me though, but it's still kind of crazy.
Hey, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. But you
Yeah.
mentioned something I do want to talk about real fast. You mentioned, actually, I forgot how you phrased it, but you mentioned like websites and how you started your
Oh,
acting.
yes.
So I usually save this for the middle of the show, but let's just change it up. I'm going to ask you about social media. Can social media make you or break you with every single thing that you accomplish? Was it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stage 32, Hit Record, YouTube? Was it any of those websites that helped you break through? Or,
The main websites that helped me break through was Casting Networks, and that was the main one that the gentleman from Video City TV found me. That was always my go-to website until I started going to Actors Access and then Backstage, and then I started utilizing Facebook, because Facebook is now becoming like an agency, like representation for people who don't have representation. You're finding gigs left and right, and I have found a lot of my gigs on social media. Like 95% of my resume is me booking those gigs, me just submitting, going out, networking, talking by chance, by the universe, getting it to me. So yeah, so social media can definitely make and break you, and it's very interesting that you asked that question. I'm glad you did. Um, and it's unfortunate as well, because just today we had a passing in the music industry. I believe his name was um, Pop, something like that. I didn't know much about his music, but I realized that he was putting too much of his information on social media, and they found out where he lived, and the tragedy happened. So it could be that part of social media, and then it could be the part where you're blowing up, such as B Simone, if you know about her, or Lala Milan. These are like Instagram famous people. You know what I mean? So you can either utilize your Instagram to make you, or you can utilize it for the negative. So it really depends on how you choose to use it.
no, I agree with you. Now, how do you feel about your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? Do you think you're following? I'm trying to find a way to phrase this. Do you think you're following dictates? Of, like I said, when I'm nervous, my disability shows more.
Oh, no problem.
Do you think that your following dictates people should work with you, or do you think it's the message behind it? For an example, if you have like a thousand people following you, do you think, okay, we should invest in this person, or do you think we need to see if they have the talent and passion?
Oh, so that's a great question. And social media is such a huge topic as an actress. On top of that, so my following is probably about 1,800. It's not the best, okay? So when people want to pay attention to you, or if they want to pay attention to you, you need to have at least 50K following or more. So with you saying, with like my following of 1,000, is it the talent or is it the number? At that number, it's gonna have to be the talent. I have to make myself stand out more because my little bit of following, unfortunately, is not gonna garner me much attention, if you know what I mean. And it kind of sucks because social media, unfortunately, and numbers are now dictating where you will be. If you don't have enough numbers, you're not going to be getting cast in a lot of movies with a name with a back end. They want to make sure you have numbers because you're already doing half the job, which is marketing. You're already marketing their film for them. You're already self promoting yourself for them because you have 500,000 followers. So it's like a win lose situation sometimes.
Now, what is your opinion about someone like me that has a strong message that wants to show people with disabilities that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be? You should prove to them you can still amount to something. Now, I only have like 1,000 people on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Do you think that should really matter, or do you think it's the message behind it that stands out the most?
It will most definitely be the message that stands out the most. And if people who are genuine and they care about those type of topics, which I think they should, if they care enough, they will pay attention to you. And I pray those people that care about that message will begin to flock to your page and pay more attention and bring more awareness to those type of topics. But sometimes, we are in a little like a fickle type of world, kind of jaded type of world, and people look at those numbers sometimes. So it's like we have to fight a little bit harder, twice as hard, especially someone in your predicament. You're gonna have to probably fight 3 times as harder to get those attention. So what you're doing is absolutely incredible. So you just always have to keep doing what you're doing because eventually the numbers won't matter and the people are just gonna come. People are just gonna come to your page. So that's my opinion.
My mom actually said something to me recently, and someone else said it too. Don't chase people right now because I'm chasing people. Hey, look at me, see what I'm doing. But once you get the million, be like, okay, I did my job.
Exactly. That's an excellent point that they made as well because I said I want to start my YouTube channel, which I am going to do that. And I was so focused on, well, what exactly am I going to create and how will people pay attention to me? And then after a while, I stopped caring about that. I just said, you know what? I want to have fun. I want to create something that's going to make me happy. That's going to be an outlet for me. So I'm just going to do it. And believe it or not, the numbers will begin to show. The people will just start to come to you. So as they say, don't chase it. It will come to you. And they're absolutely right.
No, absolutely. And what antagonizes me is now I mentioned this all through 6.5 years, and now they have a marketing machine behind them. I'm talking about Ryan. This kid, I'm talking about showing you, hey, look at someone with a disability, look at what you're able to accomplish. And people are like, oh, well, that's great. But yet you have this kid who's 6'4", whatever the hell he is.
Mm-hmm.
He plays with toys. So like, if you want to play with a toy, then go out and buy one, number one. But then he would go pick his nose and then fling it at someone, even though it is disgusting but funny. But people say, oh my god, that's so cool. I want to see what he does. But it's kind of like you need to find your right audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I cater everyone, whites, blacks, Spanish, Asians. I've looked at my demographics. I cater from 17 all the way up to about 64, 65. So I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, oh, what can I do that will get somebody's attention? And it's stressful because I look at other YouTube channels, these stupid things where, oh, well, go see my son have a temper tantrum and he destroys a $5,000 TV. That's stupid. Or you have people doing backyard wrestling. Or you have people shooting off firecrackers.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, here I have something that you could be proud of, and they're like, oh, we don't care. Or, I don't have the time or patience for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the question I was going to ask you, and I have a new list, going back to your acting career, do you think, what was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome starting your career? Because we're on the outside looking in. What was the very first thing you had to do to say, you know what, I got something here?
The biggest obstacle that I faced. Um, I mean, I would like to say that my experience started in college. The biggest obstacle I had when I was in college. I experienced the real world coming to New York back in 2013, 14. But I had my obstacles in college because in my class, I was the only African American in that class of like maybe 60, 70, maybe 100, I'm not sure, 100 people. It was sometimes very difficult to get cast in the plays because the majority of their plays was always, promoted to, a wider audience, and
Yeah.
they had a lot of plays with less or no black person. And the one time I would get cast would be like to play a slave or a maid or something like that. And I had to talk to the professors about that, and I felt like I wasn't being heard. And then when I finally was chosen to do what do you call it? A showcase for the actors, everyone got a callback except for me. And I was just like, okay, what happened? Mind you, I'm still the only black person. But I'm not trying to look at race here. I'm just looking
Yeah.
at, okay, maybe I'm not talented enough. So when I go to my professor, they were just telling me, oh, they were saying it was your accent. They thought you were a little bit too big, as in fat. I was like, what? I'm Jamaican, by the way, so I had a little accent. I don't know. And I'm just like, huh? Now, fast forward to today, everybody wants to be Jamaican. I don't know if you've
Yep.
seen it, but everybody in the mom is trying to be. Like Tom Hanks' son is living a Jamaican lifestyle. It baffles me. So that's where my obstacle came because I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Once I graduate, once I move to New York, I will see things differently. And I started seeing things differently. I know their opinions, how they felt, did not matter. And I wish what I know today, I wish I knew it back then. Because I guarantee I'll be in a whole different place. But I'm just grateful to where I am right now. So that's always been my biggest obstacle, to be honest. My first obstacle. My obstacle now today is just breaking into the industry, especially being an African American woman. It's just knowing, like, as yourself with a disability, we have to fight 3 times harder than the average person that does not have a disability or is not the color of my skin. So that's where I'm at right now.
Now, while on the subject, how do you feel about breaking through the demographics? Do you
Oh,
think that we've seen? I give you an example. A lot of people
mm-hmm,
said that WWE would never have a black champion. You look at The Rock, but The Rock is mixed. But then you had Kobe Kingston, but yet he didn't really have the belt wrong. Ron Simmons was the first African American to win a World Heavyweight Championship. And then Kobe Kingston, was the third. Rock was the second, but like I said, Rock was mixed. But then it was Kobe Kingston, and he was the third. Do you think about breaking demographics and breaking labels or whatever you want to call it, do you think that eventually they will have something for disability people? And that could brings up my next question of what I want to ask you is, have you ever worked with anyone with a disability, and are you willing to work with anyone with a disability?
Oh my God, I love this question. Um, yes, I have indirectly worked with someone with a disability because, and I say that because it was a short film I did. I did a short film with someone who was blind. The person was not on set. I don't know why, but it was a conversation over the phone type scene. But I count that as working with someone with a disability.
Plus, you're working
The
with me.
Say
Plus,
that
you,
again.
plus you're working with me.
And I'm working with you, which is great. Like I was excited and nervous at the same time too, because I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, but I don't know what to expect, and I'm just really happy that I'm talking with you. The next thing is I have an obsession slash fascination with American Sign Language, so I found myself literally going to meetings and gatherings with people who are hard of hearing and who are deaf and becoming their friends and taking sign language classes because I absolutely love their culture. Now I have to brush back up on my sign language. I still know a good amount, like maybe 60%. And like I mentioned earlier, like I'm writing now and I wanna get into directing. And the second feature film I ever wrote, it's about an African American deaf boy. And there's a whole story that surrounds him. So it's like I have a soft spot for people with disabilities with a creative side that want to break barriers. Because I'm like, come on now, there, y'all know you guys can do this. Like you guys can do this. You guys are doing this. It's endless what you guys can achieve. Like it's really endless.
No, I agree with you. They actually did Black Superman, Hancock, and that was really good.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now it's funny because a couple years ago, it was 2013. I was talking to one of my people who I interviewed, and I do apologize how that came out. But one of my guests, don't mind me, brain fart. I talked to one of my guests. It's like, you know what would be nice? I said, wouldn't it be nice if we had an Asian superhero? Because
Mm-hmm.
he had Hancock that came out, and along other things. But then they're talking about making a Mulan movie. This is back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're actually making a movie, and they were supposed to have Scarlett Johansson. And I'm like, well, she's not even Asian. Yes, she's popular and people know who she is. But what I liked about the fact is they actually picked an Asian girl to be Mulan.
Wait, they were gonna pick Scarlett Johansson for Mulan because I know she did Ghost in the Shell, which was supposed to be an Asian character. They were gonna also pick her for that one.
Yep.
Oh, child.
And I don't.
I'm glad they did not. She's amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But come on, let's be real.
I agree. And you remember how the audience reacted to the first trailer of Sonic? It was freaking terrible. The audience hated it so much that they made the people redo it, and it actually looks better.
Yeah, that's great. The movie now that's out now, right?
Well, I think so. I think it came out last week. I have to look it up again when it came out.
Okay. Yeah.
No, only if we can do that with those wrestling games and tell them to get off their asses, make them how they're supposed to be. Not like, I give you an example. When you buy a good wrestling game, when you had like WWE, Here Comes the Pain, you had to wait about 2-3 years, or Shut Your Mouth, you had to wait like a year or so. You had some time. Now it's like, here's 2000, here's 2001, here's 2002. It's every year. It's like, then why am I paying $70 if all I have to do is wait until the following year? It's the same copy and paste attitude. It's kind of like, it takes away from it. If you look back at let's see, when did it come out? 98 and 99, WCW NWO Revenge. And let's see, that was about, 98. Then you could go back 2 years, 96. You had that open time. I can't wait for the next one. brand new wrestlers just came in, from ECW or the WWF, and you had this suspense of saying, okay, in 2 years we will see how far we will get, instead of hitting copy paste, and you're just rushing it out. It's like, here's a new game, and it's complete utter shit. If you look up the reviews of WWE 2K20, it was god awful because there's glitches in there, and all the wrestlers have the same moves. It's just horrible. But that's the attitude of people today, because they think that's how fast can you produce something, and it doesn't matter if it's great or not. How fast can you mass produce it, get it out there? And that's the problem.
Quantity over quality, right? Mm-hmm.
But I give you one more example. Then we're gonna take a quick commercial break. It's kind of like with WWF Raw for Xbox. The graphics were great, and I give you an example. Like for my glasses, they look great, but for me, I have to get used to the glasses. But to the game, the controls were horrible. They didn't even do anything with the controls. They were so persistent and focused on the presentation and the graphics, and saying that's all you have to do. You have the music, you have the special effects. Yeah, the controls aren't perfect, but it doesn't matter. But that's where the problems begin. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like with my talk show. I'm constantly changing the introduction. I'm constantly changing the format. Some interviews are great. Some are just, all right. But I'm showing you there's a process. It isn't copy-paste. And I'm not going to say, how was life growing up? High school, college. Where you stand on racism. Okay, next interview. Then repeat the 4. Then do it another one. Then repeat the 4. Mm-hmm. But,
I'm just doing it different over and over again. Every single time is something new, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. And with the last 4 minutes left, I'm going to pass the show over to you. And you can ask me anything you want.
Menino. Hi, I'm Deborah Jensen.
I'm Linda Collins.
Hi, I'm Marissa Joy Davis.
This is Michelle Wong.
And I'm Nancy Rose.
My name is Brandy Hunt. And
hello, my name is Raven Wynn.
Hi there, my name is Giovanna Vidal.
Hi, I'm Monica Thomas.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Kenishia Green, and we were back to episode 645. With the last 4 minutes and counting, I'm going to pass the show over to you. But with the last question, with everything that you accomplished in your life, are you satisfied with everything that you accomplished? Do you think it helped you become a better person?
So with everything I've accomplished so far, yes. Everything I've been through, it has definitely changed me and taught me, and it keeps teaching me, and I keep learning. Am I satisfied? No. I don't think any of us will ever be satisfied with what we want out of it until the day we die. But that does not mean that it makes us unhappy. It just means that we crave for more. We want to add to our happiness. We want to add to our creativity because it keeps us living. So I just look forward to adding to my life, my resume, my work, my knowledge, everything. So that's where I am right now.
No, absolutely. Now, was there anything you wanted to talk about, anything you wanted to promote? This is your time.
Sure. So first, I want to say you guys can find me on Instagram. I do utilize Instagram, believe it or not. It's Miss Green _819, and it's spelled MSGREEN_819. The things that I love to promote. I have a play currently right now called He'll Work It Out. We're currently rehearsing. It will be showing in late June, July. And I'm going to release more information as we go forward. And also, I'm looking forward to the next movie I'll be working on. We're filming in June, and it's going to be out of the country is going to be in the motherland of Africa. And I can't wait to film it. I'm excited because the universe has heard my prayers and my manifestations. Manifestations and manifesting is a real thing, guys. Pray to the universe. Talk to the universe and talk to the trees. They listen.
Oh no, so you're mentally crazy and then you're talking to yourself.
Nope, don't believe the hype. Don't let them tell you that. You're not crazy if you talk to yourself or if you talk to the trees. I'm telling you, you're not crazy. It's therapeutic. It's a release. It's cathartic. So
you know what's funny about that is I was thinking, I come up with these great ideas when I'm about to sleep. Like, why is it when I'm about to fall asleep, I can see myself giving speeches, and I would ask myself a question. It's like, I wonder, I don't know, for an example, just throw something at me. And then I would answer myself. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? I didn't even know that answer, but yet that's when I start to scare myself. It's when you think of something, and then you start to answer yourself.
I mean, it's like we already know the answer. You know how they always say the answer lies within you?
Yeah.
Even though it sounds corny and cliche, it's kind of true. Like, especially when you're laying down and you're being peaceful, your brain is still thinking, and sometimes the answers just come to you like that. That's probably what that is. You never know. We're not crazy. We're not crazy.
Now, what's the last 2 minutes left? We're going to go overtime now. What's the last 2 minutes? Was there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to promote? This is your time. And like I said, no gloves, no cards up my sleeve, so you can ask me anything you want.
So this is me asking you the questions now?
Yep.
All right. So I love your show. I love what you stand for, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you do so many great things. Where do you see yourself? Like, where do you see, I don't want to give like a time limit, but where do you see your show, or where would you like for it to be other than YouTube?
Now, it's funny. They always ask me ask everyone for this matter, where do you like to see yourself in 5 years? And I'm going to use what my dad said. On a beach with a drink in my hand.
It's a good answer. Good answer.
But for me, I would like to have my own studio. I more see myself, and even for anyone out there that's seen the episode when I got my first interview, I actually said I see myself to be like Bill O'Reilly. I have to dress professional, do the whole speech and everything, but yet I have a second edge to me where I want to be funny. I want to be sarcastic. And so I want to be like Bill Maher. So get up, do these great things, do skits. So I'm a combination of Bill Maher / Bill O'Reilly. But I'm a big fan of Robin Williams, Gabriel Iglesias, George Collin, Dennis Leary. And I'm trying to think, how can I take little pieces of that, but yet come off for professional, like Bill O'Reilly. I'm sure my brother watches this guy all the time. Oh, John Oliver. How can you be like these people? Not being a carbon copy, because no one wants, like I said earlier, copy and paste. No one wants to be a carbon copy. You're your own person. But at the same time, you want to be funny and unique, but at the same time, have that little personality of saying, you remind me of this person, or you remind me of that person. But to answer your question, I've been doing this for 6.5 years. I would like to actually get mainstream, and sky's is the limit. This is what I want to do until I'm 6 feet under. I'm not saying that to be cute. I'm not saying that to be funny. But I actually found something that makes me happy.
And that's important. If it makes you happy, keep doing it. Even if others don't understand it. And I feel you will get far because you really have a great message behind your platform. So, yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
Nice. Thank you. And,
oops, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I thought it was my time. Like, okay, Kenishia, interview's over. No, if you don't mind, could you shed light on what exactly is your disability? Maybe there's others out there that have the same thing as you that will more than likely be inspired by you and feel they can do whatever they want as well.
All right. And then this will be our follow-up question. You know, for me, I said it for 6.5 years, and I'm probably going to keep saying it because it's just who I am. You know, there's a lot of different variations. I'm not dancing around the question. I'm just trying to summarize it. A long story short, people ask me, how did he come up with the show? I used my brother for an inspiration. I used my dad for an inspiration. It all started with my birthday list because people said when you're 21, it's special. You have to do something for your 21st birthday. And I'm like, I don't drink. I don't smoke. If I have to die, I would like to have a couple famous friends. That didn't work out, but now I kind of got what I wanted, but because I went about it in a different way. But I'm thinking, my dad, my brother, my birthday list. But what really pushed me in the direction was I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers and 1 sister. And my brother before me used to say, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what direction to go into. And my parents used to say, go talk to your brother, go talk to your sister. They know people, they can point you in the right direction. And I said, what about me? What about you? You read and learn at a 5th grade level. You have a disability. You're not qualified for anything. You can't keep your mouth shut. You have a hard time holding down a job. You piss people off. Okay, that's true. I do piss people off. Sometimes for fun, but I have poor mannerisms. So, it's one of those things. But the bottom line was I wasn't qualified because I could never go to college. I don't have a BA or bachelor's. I'm going to be a burden. I'm probably end up in a group home. And I said, you know what? I'm going to screw it. I'm going to show you what's a disability that I don't need a BA. I don't need a bachelor's. I don't need a master's. I don't need any of that crap. I'm going to show you with a heart and passion look at what I'm able to accomplish. My dad loves me very much, but he thinks I live in Fantasyland. And sometimes he is right, I do. But look at what I have accomplished for 6.5 years, 645 episodes. And I met thousands of people. Some of them were really nice. Some of them are, they were assholes and we didn't connect or click for whatever the reason is. But the key thing you have to focus on is 6.5 years. Look at what I amounted to. I'm not the same person who I was back in 2013. I'm not the same person who I was back in high school. I kind of wish I was doing this because maybe I would have had more friends or whatever. But all this makes you a better person. You can say the same thing about yourself. With everything that you accomplished from the very beginning, for all those years, all the way now, every action, every act that we go through, it makes you a better person. Do you agree or disagree?
I absolutely agree. Agree. And if it doesn't make that person a better person, then there's something wrong with them.
No, I agree. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, my last 2 questions for you. You mentioned this during the interview, but this is how we're going to close the show. Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn? Any websites I did not mention? How can your fans and followers follow you? Or, if there's anyone out there that want to work with you, how can they follow you?
Sure. So as I mentioned, I'm on Instagram, which is MSGREEN_819. I am on Facebook, which is just Kenishia Green. Or you can actually use the same MS Green _819, but because Facebook is weird sometimes. But let's just keep it at Kenisha Green. You can find me at KenishaGreen.com. I'm on LinkedIn as well as Kenisha Green. And YouTube is also Kenisha Green. I try to keep it super simple. Spelled Kenishia. The I is silent. And green spelled just like the color. I have to say that because people be like, with an E at the end? No, green, like the color. What else? I don't have Twitter. I don't have Snapchat. I don't know why.
I don't either, so don't feel so bad.
Yeah, this is too much. This is overkill for me. My brain wouldn't process. I already think being on Facebook and Instagram can be a lot sometimes, but I'm okay with that. What else? I think that's it. Those are all my Instagram handles.
Yeah,
my social media handles.
Now, my last question for you. When I first approached, I want you to be brutally honest.
Sure.
When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first honest reaction? What made you say yes? How do you feel now? And what do you recommend to other people who are hesitant about being a guest on the show?
When you first approached me, which I think it was over LinkedIn, I was like, yeah, let's do this. I'm very open because I love to talk sometimes. I like to share my story and I like to hear about other people's stories. So I had no preconceived notions. I didn't make any prejudgment, nothing. I was just like, yeah, let's do this. Can we hurry up and do this? And that was it. And I went through your stuff. Believe it or not, because I think you did an interview with a friend of mine way back when. I think that's when I even knew about you. Way back when. I don't recall the person, but I remember because I saw you. And that was it. I just said I was ready to do it. I'm just really super duper open. I'm in a place right now in my life. I'm just open to a lot of different things. And for others, hop on here. Hop on the Keith Andrew Network and just talk about yourself. Talk about your story. Promote yourself and learn about him as well. He has a great story that we all can learn about and we all can just share. That's just how I feel.
No, absolutely. Now, I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2.